And Sebastian, you made it here at 7-Eleven. I'll give everybody like one more minute in case there's more people coming. Hey, Dominic. Hey, Dolphin. San Sebastian. Nana. Ved being corny. Jaka. Jaka leaving. All right, let's go ahead and get started. People come as they get in here. Can I get a bet for the test? We'll see. I'll think about it. All right, so if you haven't done your homework, you should probably have it out and do it as we go. That way we can kind of go over at the same time. So here we go. National laws are made by Congress because they're our national legislative branch. We talked about how people can affect lawmaking. It's citizens, it's individuals and interest groups. This one's going to go say citizens. Essentially, that basically we need to know this process so that way, whether through direct participation, like us voting on a law, or us writing not bills, us writing letters to politicians to try and get them to vote a certain way, you know, we need to be aware of what's going on. Lawmaking process requires collaboration and compromise. Collaboration means is a fancy way of saying working together. Compromise means like you might not get everything you want, but you get something. And essentially, we just got to work together to try and make the best bills possible for our country. That's what the idea is. That's what they should do. I'm not saying that's what always happens. And hi, Ethel. There's two different types of powers. There's expressed, so keyword here kind of look for is specifically listed, this little phrasing right here. This means that if I were to open up the Constitution, I can read word for word that it says, hey, you have the power to do this. So the power to veto, it says the president has the power to veto. The fact that uh, Congress has to approve the budget, it says that in the Constitution. So basically, it just means you can read the document and it says it word for word in the document that, hey, this branch can do this power. That's an express power. Implied powers is the one where they kind of stretch the wording a little bit. It doesn't say exactly that you can do it, but it doesn't say you can't. And they use these implied powers to help carry out the express powers. Um, so, for instance, the one that I can try to generally use with you guys is the last time we officially declared war was World War II, because Congress is the only branch who can actually declare war. Yet, we've been in Korea, Vietnam, Afghanistan, Iraq, all these other places, because the president sent troops there as part of a police action. So that would be more of like an implied power there. Um, so then you have to know the steps. So the first step is introducing a bill. Might say propose, but introduce, same thing. So introduce, then we have committee. Committee is a small group. Then we have debate. Debate's a fancy way of saying argue or discuss on the floor. Floor is just this picture right here, okay? So you see how all the congressmen here debate on the floor? It just means that they're all discussing it, like every single congressman. So a committee, there's maybe like 10 of them. Once it gets out of committee, then they're going to debate it amongst all of them. And then we're going to have a vote. Now, if the bill started in the House, it's got to repeat the steps in the Senate. If the bill started in the Senate, it's got to repeat the steps in the House. So it does all four of these, 1 through 4, in one House, and it has to repeat steps 1 through 4 in the other House. So as you can see, sending bills to the other house and repeating the process, and then it goes to the president. Now the president has two options. The president can sign the bill into law, and it's official, so it goes from being a bill to a law, or you guys can't really read that, can you? Or the president can veto it and deny the bill. So I'm going to scroll down really quick just so you guys can get a good camera on everything I was saying. So there's the first 4 steps right there, what I was talking about. It's a little bit clearer now on all the stuff I was talking about earlier. I apologize, I didn't realize it was so blurry. Um, so then we have, why do they even write laws in the first place? Like, what's the point of even having any bills or laws? And then it's basically to fix issues. So the example I've been using in class with you, hey Ethel, hey Kenza, is car accidents. It used to not be a law that you had to wear a seatbelt. Then a lot of people died in car accidents. So there was a problem with people dying in cars. So how did they address that problem? They made a law saying that people had to wear seatbelts. When people started wearing seatbelts, there was less fatalities, less people died in car accidents. Therefore, Congress wrote a law in response to a problem. As I said earlier, individuals and interest groups help shape legislation. Shape is just a fancy way of saying form or make here. So it's saying that us as individuals, me, you even, if you were to write a letter, your parents, a lobbyist, which we'll learn about later on, anybody has the ability to help shape legislation or help make it, as well as interest groups. They're going to want to have their say because an interest group, at the very core, is a group of people who have one interest. Their voice is just amplified because there's a lot of them, and usually there's a little bit more money behind an interest group backing their ideals. However, Congress cannot do anything and everything they want. There is such things as denied powers. That just means nobody gets them. Like, for instance, Virginia can't make a treaty with France. Congress can't just decide to spend all the money in the world because they don't get to make the budget. That's actually part of one of our checks and balances where the president proposes the budget, they have to approve it. So they can't just decide to go spend money on maple syrup from Canada, like spend billions on it. They have to budget that money and do all that stuff. So essentially, denied powers, the short version is powers that nobody gets to have. I try to make them a little bit funny so you guys remember, but like think about it seriously is they can't make you quarter troops. Think of like our Bill of Rights. They can't make you have soldiers stay at your home just because soldier has nowhere else to live, which used to be a thing. So that's the first test. I think you guys will be fine with that one. Hey, Taryn. Let's go on to executive. So you guys were really struggling when I asked you about this one. But before I get too far, I want to make sure I go over this very simple question. What has happened to presidential power over the years? Well, it's grown. It's gotten bigger. So from the days of George Washington till now, the president has more power. It just means that there's more things that he or she can do. So how do they affect policymaking? How do they affect things like becoming laws and things like that? Well, we have the annual speech that they call the State of the Union Address, which you guys get to watch in January. It's the one time they can really propose legislation. Now, I told you how they can do it. They can go through a congressman, but this is like the one time they're directly talking to Congress and basically saying, here's what I want to do. Here's my, this is what I want to have done by the end of this year. This is what we did last year. This is what I want to have our country doing this coming year. They can approve or veto legislation. That one's pretty simple. You should know that one. Veto means deny. They can appoint officials who help carry out laws. Appoint's fancy way of saying select. So they're going to select their cabinet. They're going to say, I want you to help me run Secretary of State and so on. And basically, because he's got to enforce a lot of laws, remember their main job is to enforce laws. They might not be able, the president can't be everywhere at once, so they'll have somebody who's appointed to agriculture, somebody who's appointed to transportation, somebody who's appointed to defense, and they're going to make sure that, the laws are being followed for all those different areas. Issuing executive acts and orders, we didn't spend a lot of time on this. This is kind of a president's way of just getting what he wants by just saying, I'm filing an executive order. I didn't really want to confuse you guys. The way things should be done is if it's a serious enough problem, a bill should be made and then a law should be passed. Um, this is just kind of a more recent usage. Now, it's been used throughout history, but it's been used more frequently uh, as of recent time. But again, not going to go into super details on that. And appealing directly through the media and communication with citizens. This would be like, hey, Alicia, this would be like going on TV and the president giving a speech, and he's trying to rally the troops. He's trying to, when I say troops, I mean citizens. He's trying to get people to be on his side and basically say, like, you know what, that's a great idea. Let me contact my congressman, and they'll, agree with it, and then they'll vote the way I need them to vote. So the idea is he's gonna like basically talk to us and say, hey, this is what I want to do. Go tell your congressman they should do this as well. Again, with the appointing officials things, his cabinet, his agencies, things like the FBI, uh, and other regulatory groups basically help him execute the laws, make sure things are being followed. To the roles, I know you guys love them. So first one we have is Chief of State, Ceremonial Head. This is the one where, hey, maybe it's not the most important thing, but I look good, right? So this is where the president, is going to lighting up the national Christmas tree. It does not help our country in any way. It doesn't make the economy better, doesn't do any of that, but he looked good on TV. Or maybe he invites the Super Bowl winning team to the White House. Doesn't help stop the war on drugs, but it looked good on TV. So Chief of State's the one where he's just kind of doing things to make himself look good. Maybe he's giving out Medal of Honor. It's a ceremony, okay, or an event. Chief Executive, he's running the government. He's doing his job. He's doing all these things up here. He's doing when he's doing these for the most part as Chief Executive, except for these two, the State of the Union and proposing legislation. When he's appointing people, when he's making sure laws are being followed, he's just being the boss of the executive branch. That's this one. Chief legislator, anything that deals with Congress. You're looking for legislative Congress. You're looking for those keywords. If he's giving the State of the Union address, he's talking to Congress. As you can see, look, it says it in the title. Speech to Congress. He's talking to Congress, chief legislator. If he's proposing legislation during that speech, he's trying to get them to do, work on their jobs, which is making laws, so chief legislator. Commander-in-chief, anything deals with military. Commander-in-chief. Okay? So if he's talking about sending them troops, tanks, bombs, whatever. Commander-in-chief. Chief diplomat is anything with another country that is no military. So if it says France and it says we're sending troops, Commander-in-chief. It says France and we're going to have baguettes with their leader, chief diplomat. So another country, no military, chief diplomat. Another country with military, commander-in-chief. Chief of party is where they're helping out their political party, so it would be President Trump's helping out the Republican Party right now. So he's the chief of party for the Republicans. And essentially it'd be like they're hosting a fundraising dinner and he makes an appearance, so he's helping them raise money for the Republicans. And the last one, the kind of simple one that they've added recently over the years, is chief citizen, where he's supposed to be representative of all the people. This is where the president is just, is supposed to be what represents us to the world, as well as, representing our values and our ideals. So, this is when they do the simple stuff like, hey, the president's going for a jog, just like me. The president went to McDonald's to get a Big Mac, just like me. So that would be chief citizen. So in case you were having trouble with the roles, let me zoom in here. I don't trust my mouse wheel. Now, the one they used to be is this one, so you can ignore Chief Guardian of the Economy. So don't pay attention to that one. But you can see if you need a quick little cheat sheet without, Chief Citizen would go right here. Chief of State, become popular, Chief Diplomat. You can always screenshot this, guys, if you're watching or something like that, if you want to have a quick cheat sheet to study off of. Chief Diplomat decides, like what ambassadors, anything with another country. Commander-in-Chief, in charge of the military. Chief Legislator, dealing with Congress. Again, look at the keyword right there. Head of political party, president helps those within his own party or her party move up. And Chief Executive, he's going to choose how the laws are being enforced or being the boss. Mr. Wood, spice up the review. Mr. Woods is trying to get through this review. All right, so let's go to review questions. 19, 20, 21 are pretty simple. Bicameral means two houses. Y'all know that. 100 members, two from each state. That's the Senate. 435 is going to be House of Reps. Let's go down here, though. All right, what step is missing? Let's do 22, 23, and 24. Go ahead and do those in the chat box. Ethel just got to work on your spelling, but otherwise, good job. Very good, very good. It's not group. Very good on 23. And look at Dom rolling them all out at once. So, committee would go right here. So, new bills introduced, committee, debate, vote, president, sign or veto. It cannot be passed if it's only passed by one house, and if it's not expressed, they are implied powers. Very, very good. Let's go down to the harder test here. Let's do 25, 26, and 27. Go ahead and do that. I'll tell you what, if Lily's here, we'll do the type racer. I gotta see if I can beat her on my own keyboard here instead of using that keyboard at school. Good job. 25, State of the Union address. Good, good, good. 26, good job, Kinza. Good block. And 27. Just want to point out to everyone that Ved got one wrong for once. Just saying. I know it's rare. Forgot to study for the test, Alicia. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you're in. I think you're no longer in middle school. 27, you guys are in the ballpark. So what I was looking or hoping to see was they assist the president in enforcing the law. So the cabinet's job is to help the president in enforcing the law, but they do assist the president. You guys are all in the ballpark with that one. I'm sorry, Alicia. Ooh, too much. All right. Finish it with 28, 29, and 30. Mr. Wood 2.0, there is no such thing. Dang, look at y'all. Y'all are ready. Y'all don't need to be so worried. I don't have all the answers. I just act like I do, Alicia. That's the difference. All right, so 28, Commander in Chief, very good. Because talking about armed forces, Chief Diplomat, we're dealing with a foreign country, but there's no military. So anytime we sign a treaty or meet with them. And then 30, the President represents all of the nation's citizens, not just those who voted for him or her. All right. So, you guys got any questions about the test? You guys got any questions on the test? Yeah, we'll probably review it before we take it tomorrow. I'll go over it with you. Um, I think it's actually 11 and 11 on each test, Ethel. Um, Chief Executive and Chief Legislation. Chief Legislator, you're looking for anything with dealing with Congress, while Chief Executive, you're looking for basically him being the boss of the government, running it, and basically him enforcing the law, like doing his regular job, appointing people, things like that. Um, what do you mean? What do you want me to do by spicing it up? Yeah, it's funny, Alicia. So I don't know what you want me to do by spicing it up, Kenza. I don't know. Make it spicy. Yeah, just want me to dance for you too, Kenza. Just hop on command. You tell me how high I jump. Is that what it's gonna be? You weren't put through anything. Um, Trying to think any other questions. I think you guys will be ready. It's gonna be a lot of just like, here's what this situation is. What role is present in the situation? And a lot of the lawmaking test is essentially just remembering the steps in an order. You're allowed to take a piece of paper, a blank piece of paper, and, like, you can write down the steps, or you can write down a role that you struggle with, like as soon as the test begins. That's not considered cheating because you can do the same thing on the SOL. You'll be given a blank sheet of paper and you can write down whatever you remember. I actually really, really stress that around SOL time, so I'm definitely okay if you want to start trying that now. Um, but I mean, that's obviously up to you. What's up, Alan? Give us another review. Veronica, it'll be saved so you can review it later, okay? Um, what about trick question? There should be no trick questions with uh, with chief diplomat, chief of state. It's pretty different. Chief diplomat's dealing with another country. Chief of state is when he does the things that kind of make him look good. What is this bets that you talk of? All right, just for you, Kenta. Do one typing things. You guys can type this in. Oh, where'd the thing go? There it is. Okay. So you can type that in. And we'll do the type racer. See how fast we can type. And then I'm gonna get off. I'm from around here in Manassas. Mr. Wood, it's not new. But the best. Are my messages going through? No zoom in. Okay. Your messages are going through, just probably ignoring them. There, I zoomed in. That's still a little blurry. Hey, Ace. I'm not sure I'll win. I just want to see how I can do with my actual keyboard instead of that little soft one that they have at school. Like I can never feel the letters when my fingers move. Oh, you know what? I'm not even being smart about this. There you go. You can just copy and paste it. Yeah, yeah. Not always my best moments. Why did it start? Oh, let's try this again. I'll copy this one in there. There. Go to that one, the second one. You guys are gonna be fine. You guys can go. Yep. I'll just do this little race thing. I just want to see how fast I can type. Alright, so nobody can complain about this. Alright, all you do is type in whatever's up there. And it'll be a timer and all that kind of stuff if you have not done this before. Alright, I'm gonna start it. Ah, still not good. I gotta practice more. You're gonna finish in 5 minutes. No, you need to take your time on the test. Yeah, we got some slow typers. I'll do one more. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. Ah. Oh my goodness. Oh no! I lost. Oh my goodness. Oh no, 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 no. That was bad. That was bad. Oh, nope. Oh, I don't even want to look at it anymore. Alright. You guys have a good night. Oh.